Well, I should say Happy New Year. Well, it's not quite Happy New Year, but Happy Yuletide, Happy Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Hanukkah, Happy everything today, because this is getting very close to the end of the year. This is a time,
Mhm.
not just celebration, but also a good time for reunification. It also is a time when, as we were discussing in the green room, emotions become heightened. People
Mhm.
find that the things that they've been pushing down throughout the year and not dealing with come to the fore. It's also a time when people perhaps get inebriated or they use other substances, which then stop the checks and boundaries that we put checks and balances that we usually put on our emotions, so as not to say the so-called wrong thing, and so on. It all comes to a head around about now, and this is resilient. I'm going to speak resilience 2.0 with Stephanie Mitchell Hughes and myself, Gareth Wax, and we talk about really in terms of context. Stephanie's been through a long history of going through hard places, as she refers to them, coming out
Mhm.
the other side, and trying to use some of that wisdom gained through having had that personal resilience to perhaps infuse this podcast with some of that. And here we discuss topics that really can affect all of us at this time of year. Some of them
Mhm.
tend to be focused on the black experience per se. Some of them are the universal experience, but certainly at this time of year, it's a great coming together of emotions, of people, often around a table, often breaking bread. But the whole point about it is, this is the time when it all comes out. And this is the time when we have to deal with. So, welcome, Stephanie. What is today's topic really about?
So today's topic is about love and about choosing to operate from a space of love. I'm not talking about love so much in the what is it? Eros love.
All right, so
We're
non-physical
not
love, but
Yeah, we're not romantic love.
no,
But
no, not
just in
romantic
terms
love, but love of our fellow human.
right.
Also, dare I say it, love of an idea, or love of a group of people, love of an ideal. All of that. These forms of love, where that most unquantifiable, that most indecipherable of contexts, which means that you often feel before you think.
Well, I mean, so like oftentimes, and it's like we were saying when we were talking in our green room, it's the time of year we get together with family members. We see people who we might not interact with or talk to over the course of a year. And I think that once you reach a certain age, for the most part, people kind of stop this idea that we're going to have these Hallmark Christmases and it's going to look in a certain way and people are going to act in a certain way.
Yeah.
We know we reach a point, a lot of us, where we have to think about, well, how am I going to approach this, what could be difficult? Because you may have family members and people in your family who engage in and where there's a lot of dysfunction. That dysfunction may manifest in certain ways, and what have you. But you also have seasons and periods where, and it's like I was telling you, I mean, right now just found out yesterday that one of my childhood friends is in hospice and her family is saying or preparing to say goodbye to her. And I have some other childhood friends whose mother and remaining parent has died, and they are next week preparing to have her service. And so, and people have lost. There are
Right.
people who have lost jobs over the course of the year. Their entire lives have been upended.
And,
Uh,
and, and it has to be said that 2025 has culminated in a lot of, I was going to say, distrust of the system, of of
well,
of ups and downs, which meant that a lot of people whose life seemed to be plotted in one direction have now
Mhm.
had
Oh
to
yeah.
take stock.
Well, people are there's been a lot of upheaval.
Yes.
And I don't necessarily want to focus so much on the upheaval because one of the challenges with that is number one, and this is in keeping with the topic direction for today of operating from a and starting with love. But one of the things that I think is a way of operating and starting from the point of love is recognizing that you cannot solve all problems. There is
No.
a lot, I mean, it goes without saying that there is a lot going on in the United States. There's a lot going on right now in the city where I live. And it has been very painful and scary and difficult and unbelievable to watch. But I think that in you have we and when we're dealing with these difficult situations, we get to decide how it is that we're going to respond to them. And when you're dealing with those difficult people, people who you may not really want to see, it's like, well, how is it that I am going to navigate this situation in a way that honors me, honors my mental health, honors and protects my family if they're with me, my children whom are with me, um, and just enforces boundaries that we work so hard to build and maintain. And people may say, well, why is it that you're saying operate from a place of love? Operate from a place of love because love casts out fear. It will cast, if we go in that direction, we can hopefully cast out the fear, the mistrust, the negative and hard feelings, hard things that we may have. For me, I have a lot of challenges that I face and that I am having to navigate. And I can't navigate those things the way that I would ordinarily do it. And I find that to be really frustrating because I'm a person who's pretty no nonsense and I don't tolerate foolishness because my
Right.
attitude is I don't have time for foolishness. Okay, you're either going to behave or you need to move.
Oh,
And
dare I say it? We've both of us gotten to a certain age
yeah, I
whereby
mean we
realise
just don't have time for that.
there's just no time for it.
We're gonna we're gonna get you're gonna get it together and move on. But the challenge for me and the word that I took on for the holiday season was gratitude. That was choosing to be grateful, to exercise gratitude and look for in the landscape of whatever it is that I'm facing and to see the things that I can be grateful for. So the challenge is to start from a place of love. Because when you start from a place of love, it is easier to extend grace
But
to
do you know
people.
what? Stephanie? I see
Mhm,
this around me, and I see a lot of people who almost. I mean, I was talking to this morning a cousin of my wife's cousin and another person from her family, and
mhm.
they're both friends with me, but they're not friends with each other.
Oh boy.
And they're talking about, well, I'm going to sit at this end of the table, and she can sit at that end of the table. And I remember
Right.
saying, and I said something very similar to both of them. I said, I want you to stick a pin in these negative thoughts
Mhm.
for one whole day, and you are just going to focus on civility and kindness for one whole day. And who knows, if you find you can do it for one whole day, maybe you can do it for 2 whole days. And then maybe that can extend to a week. But you have to start somewhere. And if you go into this thing presupposing the negative, then it will only bear fruit as more negative.
Well, and see, the thing is that it is hard to sometimes extend grace. It's hard to want to interact.
Yeah, but extending grace seems to translate as in allowing them to get off the hook.
Right. And see, and that's my point. But that is my point. Because it's hard sometimes for people to extend grace because it's like, well, I'm letting this person off the hook.
Yes.
No one is holding this person accountable for their bad behavior. So I'm going to sit here, and if no one else is going to hold them accountable, I'm going to hold them accountable. And the thing is that, and sometimes we, in extending grace, to focus on love, to focus on gratitude, people also see that as sort of weakness or, like syrupy sweet. No, absolutely not. It takes work, and it is hard when you see nonsense or you see people being mistreated
I'm
in front of you.
I'm going to be as vague about this as I can do, because if she ever got to listen, I wouldn't want her to be horrified. But I know that there are relatives of yours that have taken liberties with
other people and another person. Yeah, exactly. But the thing
it must be so hard for you to want to extend grace.
Right. And the thing is that and that's why I had to operate from gratitude, from a space of gratitude, because I wanted, and I also had to look at the bigger picture, because the one thing that I know is that consequences, accountability, retribution, vengeance, all of those things, those are not that's not my lane. And it never has been my lane.
If you start down that route, it just begets more negative.
Right. Well, yeah, but it's just not my lane, because my job is to do what I am purposed to do, and to stay in my lane. Because and that's the thing. We see things, we're going to get together with people, and we may see certain things happening in families. There was a recording that I saw yesterday, and it was of a mother-in-law who had left a voicemail message for her daughter-in-law, who had recently caught her son cheating, infidelity. And the mother said, you better put that all aside and suck it up and bring my grandchildren over here for Christmas. And it's like, lady, that's not your lane. It's not your lane. Stay in your lane and respect the boundaries that people have set. Just because you extend gratitude, just because you start from a place of love, just because you start from a place of forgiveness and extend grace, that does not mean I condone or accept or anything what you have done. Because when I'm starting from a place of love and grace, and I'm looking at the things that I can be grateful for, I have to be grateful for, then what that does is it keeps my eyes fixed on me and on my behavior and me on regulating my conduct.
Because the only person you can be responsible for in truth
is me. And the thing is that the other thing is I'm going to stop looking for the log in somebody else's eye, I'm going to recognize that I have logs, that I have imperfections, that I need people to extend grace to me. That is the thing. So just remember, and I heard someone else, because I've listened to a lot of, as you know, I read, listen to a lot of books on tape, listen to a lot of podcasts and everything, and watch, because I love to watch funny videos. And someone said they did a video about getting together with family members who you may or may not like over break. Or during the holidays. And so she said one of the things that she started out with was, there may be some of you who want to sit at home on Christmas and eat Cheerios and watch Netflix. But there are going to be others of you who are going to choose to come and be with the rest of your family, some of whom you were like, I'd really rather not claim you.
Right.
And so you may decide that for your mental health and for your boundaries, and in order to protect yourself and or your family, that it could be better to stay at home and eat Cheerios or grilled cheese or something like that. But the thing is, the challenge is, and I say this to myself and anybody else, is to start from love. Because for me, I'm looking at this and I'm like, if I start from love, if I start from gratitude, just like if you look for something negative, like you were just saying, if I look for something negative, I'm going to find more negativity. But if I look for the positive, if I look for the more things I see,
it's like when you're walking on the sidewalk.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter how clean the sidewalk is. If you look close enough, you'll find a crack.
Oh yeah, you'll find tons of dirt.
Okay.
You will. So my gratitude for the month of December is my mother turned 90 years old.
I was literally going to ask you that, what your gratitude
90. And I went down to see her. It was there amidst snowy weather, and getting out, having to get out of my car and get a shovel and shovel up the driveway because I couldn't get my car up. In the midst of all of that, my daughter telling me that I needed that to get back in the car because I'm 63 and shouldn't be outside. I'm too old to shovel the driveway at my childhood home. But, my mom had a good time, and she was really happy, and she got lots of cards, and she has a lot of people around her, not tons of people, but she has people around her who understand and love her and want to just take good care of her. Right. And if I don't have anything else, that I can't point to anything else that I am grateful for. I'm grateful to be here clothed in my right mind, because there were years where that really was not the truth.
I'm surprised
anywhere.
I'm surprised that you are in your right mind, given the situation perhaps you find yourself in.
Okay, but wait a second though, Gareth. And it's like I told you, we're going to now go back to those, recognize which problems you can solve and which ones you can't.
All right, I'm gonna do mine. I'm most grateful at the moment, especially at this time of year, for not just my wife, but my wife's family, who have taken me to their breast in a way that I could never have predicted. Such that even when she's not around, if I'm feeling down, I can call upon them, and they are people I can speak to, and don't dismiss me out of hand or make me feel diminished. And I'm very grateful for that, because it even though I don't necessarily avail myself of it, I know it's there, and that is something to behold. And I'm grateful for people like you who have been in my life for quite a long period of time, that we've grown quite fond of each other, and I know that I know that we can have a robust discussion about all sorts of topics, not
Mhm.
necessarily, ladies and gentlemen, always agreeing with each other. That's not what it's about. It's about
Mhm.
being able to toss ideas around and still come out of it friends. And I think on that note, I'm going to say thank you very much, Stephanie, for talking about starting from a point of love, gratitude starting from a point of love. And I can only extend to all of you watching, all of you listening, the very same attitude as well, which is for this time of year, for right now, try and find a way of starting from a point of gratitude and love. And that will help light your way through into hopefully a better 2026.
Right.
Stephanie, any last words?
Start with love and carry that all the way through 2026.
I know it's a big ask, ladies and
It
gentlemen.
is. It is. It's a big ass. As I sit here because then I know that I am like, okay, we're starting from love and we
Yeah.
are extending grace and we are recognizing and seeing that we are just as imperfect as everybody else.
Yeah, I think you know what, we're perfectly imperfect, and that's the way
Mhm.
I want to end this podcast. Thank you so much for watching, Stephanie Mitchell Hughes. As ever, thank you very much for helping us put this on. And to all of you watching, please keep your feet on the ground, keep reaching for the stars, and especially over this Christmas period, please look after your mental health. Until next time, bye bye.
Bye.